All right, so is it this camera, is it this camera, or is it one of these cameras? So boy, so let me save you a lot of stress and a lot of headache from going online and seeing people saying to you, oh, you gotta get this one, you gotta get that one, because this one does this and this one does that and whatever. So yeah, if you haven't checked out my first video, I'll tell you all about this camera and how I first started. So, yeah, so let me put these down and let's get into this. So if I had £1 for every time somebody said to me, what camera should I buy? I'd be rich. So literally. So, and I always say to people, my answer is, yeah, it has to be your budget. Yeah, always. Yeah. And what do you want the camera for? Yeah, that is the main thing. Yeah. So what we're going to say is most people will come back and say to me things like, oh, I've been shooting with my friends, I've been practicing on my phone, and I now want to switch up the camera and get something better. And I'm like, okay. And then I say, then the budget is what? And they're like, £500. And I'm like, £500, perfect. We can get a lot for that. Yeah, we can go on the used market. Maybe we could squeeze in a little lens to go with it. So, but the main thing is we can get something really good. So we can get a DSLR, yeah? And DSLRs are really cheap now, yeah? DSLRs have got a little bit of a steeper learning curve than a mirrorless. Ideally, I would say to somebody, if you can, try to look for a mirrorless because you're used to shooting on your phone, and with a mirrorless, like what you see is what you get. But I still love a DSLR, and a lot of people do. And if you've used a friend's DSLR before and you're quite happy with a DSLR, then get one. Yeah. So either way. So with regards to what brand should you get? Should you get a Sony? Should you get a Nikon? Should you get a Canon? It doesn't matter, because again, you're going to have people online saying to you, oh, you know, you got to get this one for that color science, and this one has got better dynamic range than that one, whatever have you. Yeah. So gosh, you know, get the one that you're happy with. Yeah, because most times with images and color science, you're going to be editing the photos anyway and tweaking them up. Yeah. So, and that really is it. And comes the other question, APS-C or a full frame. You get a lot of people pushing full frame, saying, no, you have to get a full frame. No, you don't. Absolutely not. Yeah. An APS-C, nice. A crop sensor, nice. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, micro four thirds is fine. Yeah, you can do professional shoots for brands, portraits, street photography, lifestyle, music artists, even weddings, yeah, on an APS-C. What's the advantage of a full frame? It's going to let in a little bit more light. Yes. Can you not light your subject with an APS-C then? Of course you can. Yeah, and that's really it. Light your subject. Yeah. So that's really it. You will see some posts online from places like agencies that will turn around and say something like, oh, you know, looking for a photographer freelance, must have a full frame. Yeah, fine. If that's what they're posting, okay. That could be, for example, because they're already got one photographer that's shooting with that brand and whatever, and they want something similar. So that's fine. Then post a few and far between, so you don't even have to worry about that. Yeah. people push full frame and say to you that that's the way forward, but that's another thing that's going to screw up your head. Yeah, so I don't know why people do it, they just do. Yeah, so I know people that do wedding photography on a micro four thirds. Yeah, and there are some fantastic cameras out there for micro four thirds. Yeah, the sweet spot between a tinier sensor like a micro four thirds and a full frame is an APS-C. Yeah, you find the lenses are cheaper, it's a nice size and everything. Yeah, so remember, with everything, yeah, let me say this to you loud and clear. The photography gear does not make you the photographer. Yeah, you make the images. Your vision makes the images. Yeah, your creativity, your way that you're going to do the lighting, the angles, the composition and all that. That's what makes the image. The camera is a tool to capture. Yeah, and that's really it. There are plenty of brands out there that are going to look at your posts and see all your stuff and say, I really like this photographer's shots, their vision. They're not going to say, oh, did that person do that on an APS-C camera? Therefore, we can't hire that person. No, rubbish. The first thing they're looking at is your images, yeah? And that's great. So don't worry about all this stuff that you've got to have the full frame, yeah? So that's really it. Also, you know, storytelling, all them things are all part of the creativity process, yeah? So, and that's really it. I mean, a lot of people do say to me as well, what camera do I use and what brand? So I've used them all. I've used Sony. I had a lot of their DSLRs. I shot with a lot of Nikon DSLRs, yeah. And in fact, they've all been DSLRs, even the Canon, yeah. I went on to mirrorless on the micro four thirds thing when they first started coming out. So Lumix was one of them that was in the mirrorless game, and I bought that, and yeah, I invested in some of their lenses. Then I went up to their full frame for my choice, but I shot with plenty of APS-C as well as the micro four thirds for years. In fact, the bulk of my photography has been on APS-C. I've got a full frame because of the fact is there's been many corporate jobs that I've done that, as I said, that have asked for a full frame, and also because I know that some of the big photographers they got there will be there. But if I'm walking around doing some street photography, I'll take my little APS-C or my little point and shoot around with me and get some fantastic images and can post them up and nobody's going to notice a difference. So remember, as I said to you, yeah, you are the artist. Yeah, that's really it. Buy the camera that's within your budget. Yeah, and that's it. And get a lens. Yeah, the lens is very, very important. You can get a nice nifty 50 lens. Yeah, because the lens is the thing that you need to worry about. And nifty 50 is across every brand. They've all got one, a 50mm lens. Yeah, cheap and cheerful. Lets in lots of light. You've probably got an f-stop of like f1.8 or something. Yeah, so I choose to use a 35mm on a full frame camera, and a camera I would recommend if somebody said to me, I want to get a full frame, would be something like the S5. Yeah, so you can get them on the used market really cheap. Yeah. There are also people that say, you know, I've got an APS-C camera, you know, I feel that I should upgrade. You don't have to upgrade, because I say to people, are your images not good enough? Do they not look good? Are you not getting great images out of it? What is the reason? And they're like, I don't know, once again, because people have told them that you've got to get a full frame. You haven't got to get a full frame. You haven't. You get what you're comfortable with. If you're enjoying shooting with that camera and you're creating some great images, yeah, do it. Street photography, yeah, do you need a full frame for that? No. Can you use a full frame? Yes. Point and shoot, yes. It's about obscurity. Yeah, you can walk around, blend in, get them shots, the candid shots. So get yourself a little point and shoot. And that's really it. So, you know, is hopefully I'm saving you from getting caught up on the hype of, you know, selling after contents of your home or your possessions to go and get a £3,000 camera because people are saying, oh, you got to go and buy that, when you don't have to. You really don't. Yes, so work within your thing. So trust me, I could take this out on the streets, yeah, and get some amazing images and come home and post them up and people will be like, wow, yeah, it doesn't shoot raw, but whatever. I could still get some great images, but yeah, if I had to, if I wanted to, yeah, but yeah. Anyway, if you found any value in this, please put a comment, put a like. It tells YouTube that, you know, the video is not a waste of time even posting up. It's great. Put a comment down below. Tell me what camera you're shooting with or you're going to shoot with. Tell me what videos you'd like me to cover. I will cover a lot more. I've got years of experience. Ask me anything. So yeah, till the next one. Happy shooting, really. So get out, get creative, and yeah, take care. All the best. Chat to you soon. All right.